Welcome back to Anime Savants, everyone. This week I am Kureha.
This week I'm Dio Brando.
I don't even want to ask why
that was somebody's spirit animal over the weekend.
Oh my god! Do you have the video? Do you have the video with the I
Yes.
immediately got that shit and then I added the fucking like kanji or whatever to it and put it on my Instagram stories. I was just like,
bro,
this is
can we just shout out to Will Smith for flipping the narrative this week. My man said, you know what? This is Willie from Philly, baby. We gonna remind these folks.
Yeah, I literally had a conversation with like two of my friends earlier today, and they were like, "Oh my god, like it's just he's lacking class and blah 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 blah," and I was like, "Shut up!" I was like, "This is really not that serious. Talk shit, get hit. Fuck around and find out." It's really that simple. Like, it's really that simple. I just think that a lot of people are just not used to seeing comedians meet consequences for the shit they say.
That's right.
Because it's one thing for a celebrity to be a comedian. It's another thing for, like, your cousin or, like, some nigga from down the street to crack a joke like that. What are you going to do? You're going to want to fight that nigga because he said something sideways. So, like, just because he a comedian don't mean he be like, oh, he's a comedian. No, nigga, you still talking out the side of your mouth. So like
yeah. I mean, look, we don't gotta get into the silly politics of all this. All I'm gonna say is I look at the people who get it, they understand, and I look at the people who are just like, this is the most ridiculous. Those people, right? The two groups have a lot in common with each other, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. If you got a problem with it, like, you probably an op, and I don't worry about it.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, them niggas are gonna still be rich.
True.
So they're still gonna be rich and they're still gonna be fine. So it's really not anything for me to worry about. Like
Chris Rock is gonna go home and cry at his piles of money. Will Smith's gonna go home and cry at his piles of money. But I'm just saying, once in a while, it doesn't have to be all the time. People are like, oh, you want people fighting each other in the streets or no? I just want, for every generation, every few years, someone has to get slapped just to remind people that it's a possibility.
It's a possibility, yes.
We can reach for the better angels of our nature. We can do all this like high-minded stuff afterwards, as long as everybody gets that you could just get popped if you say the wrong thing.
You have freedom of speech. That's protection from the government, not hands. So B2B.
Yep.
All right, let's begin. So, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with Vanitas because it is the remaining ongoing. We got one more episode, I guess.
Okay. I thought that it was way better than I was expecting it to be. I did, because I don't watch the previews. So I went in completely blind, and when them niggas started, like, I was like, we needed this. I needed this suit, well, not Sasuke Naruto moment, but I was just like, I needed you niggas to just like pound it out. I needed y'all to just like, it, like, do the shonen, like, deepen the friendship through fucking battle or shit. But then it wasn't even like that. It literally was like, no, he's gonna try. He's gonna kill you. Like, he gets one hit on Vanitas, he's dead. So that in and of itself made it way more interesting for me. I loved Misha in the background just cackling the entire time. I was like, this is perfect. Like, because it's like, they explained exactly what fucking happened. He didn't see everything that went on. There's another person marionetting fucking Misha, and his main reason why he's still alive is the reason why he has a thing, the reason why he knows what Vanitas is and what Noe can do. Someone else is pulling the strings. So off that alone, based off of what you said last week, I was like, oh yeah, you definitely about to come a part of the crew once they, like, save you or unbrainwash you or whatever. But in the meantime, in between time, like, the way that he was just chilling, like, on the fucking mechanical dog, just like laughing and like, ha ha ha, he, like, it was honestly kind of creepy, because like it was like a child's voice. It was like some fucked up shit. When Vanitas gutted that nigga, I was like, this is what I'm here for.
I suspect that this is the light continuation of some of the foreshadowing in the Javoden arc where they talked about the machine count. Kind of makes sense, right? Misha shows up. He's got parts of his body are like, you know, cyborg, somehow magical machine.
I didn't even think about
stuff.
that.
He rolls around with a robot like cat dog thing, you know. So that to me that all fits. The other bit is, despite kind of what we've seen of him, and maybe it's not clear, and they'll clarify a little bit in the last episode. Has Misha really done anything that's all that bad yet? Like, they imply that maybe he might be related to the murders that were happening in the city, but you never actually see him do anything. And the way they, for example, when they introduce the character in that opening scene from like 2 or 3 episodes ago, he's talking to what appears to be a woman before theoretically something bad happens to them, but it's not obvious that either he did it, because they might have shown a scene of him killing someone, and so far the worst thing he's done is brainwash Domi and tell her to kill herself on command if something happens, right? Like, that's pretty much the worst that he's actually done. So that leaves some room where if this plan of his goes awry, maybe he sort of like attaches himself to Vanitas in like a creepy sort of stalkerish, annoying kind of way. Or you could see this like continuing where he loses this fight and then goes with the, you know, escapes and becomes part of the demented entourage of like the next big villain for the next arc. You could go either way. So I don't know. I'm not looking for anyone to tell me what happens, because obviously this is from future stuff, but that's my guess. As far as like what actually happened in the episode, we sort of pick up immediately from the end of the prior episode. There's some flashback stuff. There's like 2 scenes. They're not that long. One is Noe remembering him telling Domi that he wanted her hair to grow out again, which was whatever. And then
I didn't care.
Right. It wasn't even a big deal, and it was kind of like unnecessary to put in there. I'm not complaining. It's just all that scene did was just establish that Noe actually, you know, had interactions where he saw Domi's sort of mental breakdown. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he witnessed it. Whereas, like, up to that point, they had sort of presented, like, she was going through this thing on the side, and then he was sort of entering her life, but he was sort of oblivious to what was going on. No, they show us here very clearly that he's been aware of the trauma that's going on with her. And
has simultaneously just been, like, deucing out on her ass constantly.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But they get right to the shits. Vanitas is like, I don't give a fuck about you. You know, I will not let anybody drink my blood, which I liked that they tied it into his devotion to this other Luna character that we don't know.
Yeah.
Because now it's not just like he's reflexively just a dick. His reasoning draws from that relationship and that last request. So that gives it a lot more emotional valence, right? It feels like this is important to him that he does it. And then Misha's explanation that he's self-hypnotized in order to really do whatever it takes to protect. That's cool, because that does get back to his roots as a chasseur, which I really think is one of the underplayed aspects of his character once we found out about it. Like, it seemed like a pretty big revelation last season that he had been like trained as a killer by this organization, and that he's sort of broken free from that. And we got the fleshed out story of some of the things that happened to him after he was trained, because he goes from trained to be a chasseur as a child, kidnapped or used by Dr. Moreau for about a year. Then he goes and lives with Luna, which is where he gets the Book of Vanitas and renames himself, clearly after this traumatic event. And then there's like a big gap, and then we meet the character in episode 1. So like, we filled in a lot of that intermittent stuff. This episode though was all action, because once we set up the conflict of Noe wanting to save Domi and therefore being forced to go drink Vanitas's blood, Vanitas saying there's absolutely no way it's going to happen, I will kill you before that goes down. That's the test of their friendship, is that they're both, in a way, they have in that moment opposing ideologies or needs, and then also they are both there's no way out, right? No way out. There is one, and that's the only downside that I can see from this episode, is that everyone got real stupid. Like, in another series, Noe would have, or some character, like Vanitas' whole thing would have been maybe to move the fight closer and closer to where Domi was, such that he could force her to jump and then stop her, and then you're good, right? That would be a different series, might do something like that. This one, they kind of just took everything at face value. Like, Noe didn't look.
Someone did say that it was something that was cut from the anime that made Noe's actions make more sense to me, because the immediate just like jump out, I was like, what the fuck? But then afterwards, I was like, nigga, why are you doing this? And apparently, Domi says, you have 15 minutes.
Okay.
Like in his ear.
Because he did mention that later, but that wasn't like part of the original setup.
Yeah. So like, if that were like put in chronological order, then I would have been like, okay, so he literally was just like, I have no other options. I'm about to bite your ass, nigga. Like,
sure,
let's go. But it didn't really seem like that. It just seemed like he was just talking, and then he got triggered by one word from Vanitas. And I'm just like, why are you getting triggered now? This nigga has been talking to you sideways the entirety of the series. So why is it just now when like Domi's in trouble, when you're saying you're trying to find a way to help everybody, and then you attack? Like, that was the thing that took me out of it, where I was like, this just makes me dislike your character even more.
Yeah, it's a little convenient. Let's put it that way. I don't believe in the Noe character any less because of that convenience, but the way it's presented, it's a trope, it's a meme. It's like when in shows where characters just get stupid. They get stupid in these like instances because it's necessary to do the thing in the plot that the director or the writer wants to happen, but they haven't done enough of the bridging work to make it seem natural. It's just like, oh, now it's either the bad guy gets dumb at the end of the fight or the end of his whatever, like he's been a mastermind for 24 episodes, and then right at the end he's like, and I'm going to destroy the whole world, and then it's like, well, hold on, you were real smart up until like the Bond villain. Like the Bond villain is like really smart right up until the point James Bond is about to like whoop his, getting their shit, and then all of a sudden they just turn into like shooty guy or like desperate guy, and they get dumb. I'm not a fan of those things happening, but this was minor. The most of the episode was action. Vanitas has a gun now, and he's just popping off in every direction.
That he beat homeboy up for on the way over there that we didn't see.
Off screen, beat up someone and took their gun, and showed himself to be pretty proficient. Almost blows Noe's head off. Going ham.
Still got that arm.
And this should turn into a DBZ fight for no fucking reason, which goes back to the thing I said before in the Javoden arc. It would be real nice to know what the power scaling and the rules are of what these characters can do.
They kind of did give us something.
They did more in this episode to establish those limits, but like, I didn't know that Vanitas could have a fight where he's like blowing through like buildings, he's activating robots with the Book of Vanitas, he's injecting, he's got the Chasseur shit, so he can like go, he can go
that was out of nowhere. But the fight with the book, that kind of made sense with me, with him controlling things like that. Cause I remember with the previous episode when I think Moreau or whatever, he was talking about how the books can do like alchemy, insane
stuff
like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so we're actually just seeing him use the other functionalities of the book outside of the healing aspect.
Yes, and I like that going forward. In the moment, I'm like, so the book now is just a MacGuffin that can do anything. Whatever the story requires it to do, it can do. Now, that's fine, but you've not given me any limits to it. You haven't told me what the rules are. So if like Vanitas starts ass pulling powers out of nowhere and the explanation is, oh, it's just what's in the book, I'm going to have to start thinking back to prior incidents that occurred and ask, well, why didn't he do all of this cool, amazing stuff then? Because I'm specifically thinking about when they go to the night side version of Paris, and they have that whole thing where the place gets attacked, people are getting cursed, and he jumped out onto the chandelier and gets confronted by Domi's sister and gets owned. And it's and then also he says on multiple occasions that like Ruthven would one-shot him. And it's like, okay, so he can go man up now? Was it just like, what are the rules? I don't mind if that's still true. Just tell me what the rules are, because this is cool.
I think the main reason he manned up was because of the hypno thing. Because it was
Yep.
because the way that they showed his face, he was talking shit, but the entirety of the time he was literally just like nigga,
Yeah, he was somebody
like,
else. Yeah.
And that was, I think, one of the main reasons they didn't show his face until the end. Because like hearing the things that he was saying, I was just like, well, damn, nigga. I was like, is this how you really feel? Like, holy shit. And then they show it at the end where he was like, he literally was just like talking hot shit to try to like, you know, get you to focus on something else or de-escalate in his own whatever like fucked up manner. But I think the shits with the book came with him just basically defaulting to the whatever. It's not an AI. It's just like
it's just his buried suppressed personality.
Yeah.
Whatever he constructed via that hypnosis, like the suggestion of what he's supposed to do, like that version of him came out. So what I'm gonna say is I give all of this a strong B+, but to me what would have made it better is if they'd taken some of those facts that we were given in this episode and just sprinkled them on some of the prior episodes. Like, give us a moment where, like, you know, his self-hypnosis comes into play and he snaps and, like, does something, so we know that, like, there's some trigger there and there's some ability where he could, you know, he could level up to go toe-to-toe with the vampire. Or when we were doing all the Chasseur stuff and he was down with, was it Vincent? What's the guy's name? The blonde-haired guy? Roland. When he's with Roland, show him stealing some of those, those vials that they use to power up. Right? Just not a lot. I'm not changing any story, but like show us that these are foreshadowed. I'm sure in the manga. Yeah, and like in the manga, I'm sure there's like more detail, but like show us stuff like that. So then when these events happen, I feel rewarded for like, oh shit,
paying attention.
Yeah, paying attention, and that then it doesn't feel like it comes out of nowhere because they have a decent explanation. It's not too wild, to be honest.
Yeah, like, I mean, it would be wild if they were like, if Vanitas pulled that shit out and we didn't have the history that he was a Chaucer.
Right, or when like Noe started. When Noe had his shonen protagonist moment in the Javadan arc, and you're like, wait, he can do that? Because we spent a whole season of him not doing anything like
anything.
That. Yeah.
And then but also that was another thing that kind of annoyed me about the episode was that they were like, oh yeah, he's just like really confident in his strength, so he just doesn't really even try. And I'm like, really? Because it just seems like he just doesn't try at all at anything, like the entire time.
Can I make a guess? And I have no, unlike series I dig deep into, I have no reason to believe this is true, but might be a guess, is that the mangaka had one idea for what the series was going to be, and then over time was like, oh, I want to do more like shonen stuff, and started adding those elements in later on. And now you get to moments like this, where this is a straight up like, you know, shonen action, like, subplot. Straight up. Like, there's no other preamble.
I mean, the majority of the episodes was just like fighting. Yeah.
And I like it. Once I realized it wasn't going to be like a mystery of the week type show, I wanted this season 1. But they didn't really do a lot of that.
And I kind of felt like we were going to get that, especially because Bones was behind it. But then Bones doesn't always do just like purely action stuff. So
right.
I was kind of just like, okay, well, it was still interesting enough. But this, like, they definitely saved a decent chunk of the budget for this episode.
I did. No, that's actually that's a really good point.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. But other than that, I mean, I can't even really say I'm looking forward to the final episode because I feel like they're not going to be able to wrap up the majority.
No, they can't. I feel like it's going to end abruptly. It's going to be like, and who's Bisha?
And they can't announce a season 2 because apparently it's right behind the manga. So it's just like, why did we even get here? You should have done a cut. A year, season 2.
I don't remember how long it was before season 2 got greenlit when season 1 ended, but I know that the show did very well. Season 1 did very well, like
that's
in Japan, ratings wise.
Maybe they're gonna do the movie treatment. Oh, God.
Could be, but the reason why I bring that up is that, you know, this is not going to be a small gap. Like, if you want to get a 3rd season, we're talking 2 or 3 years from now for there to be that kind of material. So
They're gonna have to go in
whether or
production
not,
right now,
yeah.
or they're
So whether or
already in
not it
it.
does, whether or not it does well, the season. Whether I don't have no idea how well season 2 is done.
Yeah.
Probably, you know how we would find out is if there's like a stage play running or something like
Oh
those types of
God, these
things.
stage plays. Jesus Christ.
But
Okay.
it's gonna suck because we're not gonna find out if there will be a season 3 until probably at earliest a year from now.
Yeah.
Whereas before we got the announcement, I think within about like 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Well, they already had said that the second part was confirmed. We just didn't have like the air date. It was supposed to
right.
originally be 24 episodes, so we shall see. Yeah, that's all I really got for it. Like, fight niggas. Like, yeah. At
Right.
this point, you kind of need it.
So speaking of fighting niggas, Sabakui Bisco season finale.
How do I put this? Oh wait, wow. Okay, I feel like I sound disappointed. I was not disappointed. I actually was very much so just like that ended.
Yes.
That happened. But it's not, I don't know, I feel like I'm saying that in a very matter of fact way, but like we've been so like straightforward. We're just basically saying that like the show's good. Like it's entertaining. It does what it does well. It's not revolutionary, but it's interesting. And the last episode was interesting. It made sense for all the shit. We saw Sabikui get eaten by the Rust Eater. We saw the fucking all that shit. We saw how he came back to life or whatever. Or like, and even in the very end when he was just like, yeah, mushrooms keep growing on my body and I have to keep taking them off. Like, it's like, okay, so you are literally not all human anymore. That makes sense. Great. Next. Pawu basically claiming his dick. Great. Next. Milo basically like simping hard and basically being like bromance forever. Great. Jobby, I don't know how that nigga's alive. I don't know how this nigga's alive. Like, I'm shocked that he made it.
I was sure that they were going to kill him.
Yes.
That's what I was so priced into that moment, and then it didn't happen.
It didn't come.
I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I see.
But just because it didn't come now doesn't mean it's not coming any later. But there's still so many other things that are up in the air. The Japanese government, they declared their independence. Pawu's running the city now. Where the fuck is T-Roll? Who is T-Roll, first of all? Because they never went into the details on what she learned in that mine because she became a manager in that bitch. So it's like, how'd you get out? And then, what are you doing out in the world outside of just like selling and the rest of your stuff? They've already been branded as heretics because they're giving away the Rust Eater formula for free. So that means the government is still like, fuck y'all. We want to profit off of this. And then also the Tetsujin. Still know nothing. Still know absolutely nothing. The origin, they're nowhere near Tokyo. Where the fuck were they going now? And basically Sabikui is kind of just like a pilgrim of like, of like rust curing now. So like wherever he goes, he's literally that's a great premise to literally travel the land and basically be like, I have the cure to literally save everybody. I'm about to go around and help people. And it's a great setup for niggas to basically be like, we have an established order here. Get the fuck out. Get out. Yeah. Like, we don't want you here. We can keep this shit going, etc., etc. Kurokawa, it was great when that nigga threw his fucking arm at Sabikui and blinded him for a second. I was like, yeah, okay, I like that. I really did enjoy that. Yeah, there was just a lot going on, but it was a satisfying ending with more than enough setup for a continuation if they wanted to. But if they ended it there, it wouldn't be bad. And the BL vibes were so fucking heavy at some point. I was like,
they gave
Christ.
A little something for all the BL people.
I was like, I didn't get a hint of BL this entire season, and right now y'all are literally like, we're about to just throw something in here for y'all real quick. Like real quick, and then we're gonna move on. I was like, well, okay, it didn't really make an effect on me or personally, because I was like, Pawu literally just tongued that nigga down.
Right. Like, I think this is the literal version of they're just best friends. Mm-hmm. Like it's actually the case instead of a euphemism.
Yes, yeah. Now, if the Pawu romance didn't exist, then the minds would just
correct. And I think I'm a big fan of normalizing just male affection. I think that's
Yeah.
just a good thing to have
And
more
this is a
of.
good example. Yeah.
And that's pretty much like when Pawu said, like, I'm his sister. If I were to interrupt this, he'd never forgive me. Because it's like they're having an actual like close moment, but as friends. That's what it is. They're just. And I thought that was good because it was more intimate as an adult than you normally would get. And if people want something to be or to read into that or live through that, then in any way they want, that's fine. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, they can write them fanfics regardless. So yeah.
Exactly. They can have at it. I don't think that it does anything to take away from the
Yeah.
story. There's no ambiguity. That's Bisco belongs to Pawu. Milo was literally trying to set them up.
Yes.
Like from the beginning. Literally, I think episode 1, he was trying to like set them up, and then on multiple occasions afterwards was like,
she'd be a great wife.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like literally saying.
Like
that.
Both of you guys are beasts. Like you're made for each other.
Yep, and she took what she wanted, so nothing you can really do about that, right? Okay, so talk a little about the episode itself. We basically start out immediately. Bisco's alive and kicking ass. They go right into a fight sequence. Milo gives him back his bow and arrow. At that point, Kurokawa is getting owned. Because Bisco's got the Rust Eater and he's able to like block all that attack for long enough for everybody to talk. Like,
I thought it was hard as fuck that he was able to shoot the arrows directly into the laser beam and spread it. I was like,
yeah, that was sick.
Cool.
That was actually pretty sick. Realistically, this you could say only 3 things happened in this episode. Bisco returns and bonds with all of the primary cast. Basically, like he does the whole like I'm back and then let's make a plan. So like that's a 5 minutes out of the episode right there. There's the rest of the fight scene between Bisco, Milo, Pawu, and Kurokawa / Tetsujin. That's like another like 5 to 10 minutes. Between the first half of it, which is right in the beginning of the episode, and then the last half of it, once Bisco gets blinded, Pawu breaks the helmet, and then him and Milo have to do like the tandem arrow shot, just blows his brains out basically, like one shot.
Tandem arrow shot.
All right, and again, a lot of affection in that scene with Milo holding him and guiding the arrow.
But also, I didn't get sexual vibes from that.
Not at all.
Literally was just like,
zero sexual tension.
I was like, nah, these are just like best fucking bros, like now. Like, they just like, that's what I got from that. So
yeah, so zero tension, and then the fight pretty much ended with about 8 minutes left on the episode.
Which I am very pleased with. I liked how they gave us an epilogue. I liked how they brought it back around to the first fucking scene with the gate dude and the kid and all that shit. They were actually taking care of the fucking mushroom.
Right.
Like Sabikui called him a bitch again.
Well, like they had the wanted posters up, but now Milo has a wanted poster. But then they have an inverted version of the conversation from the first episode, where in the first episode the gatekeeper was talking about how Bisco is a criminal, a terrorist, like all his negative shit. Here he says the exact same thing, but then has the 2 extra lines where it's like Milo was a good guy, like I know his story, he was a doctor helping people, blah blah blah, and then he also came around on Bisco as well. So it was sort of like there was a mutual respect. I thought that they were gonna play it like, oh, this guy knew it was them. That nigga didn't know shit.
He didn't know.
It wasn't until Bisco gave him the Rust Eater thing and then just like tore out of there with Octagawa. And they did set up what the next storyline that they could be following. I mean, the light novel I think it's only eight volumes, and this probably covers like volume 1 through 4 or 5.
Okay.
I think. But like, they basically set it up that now he doesn't want this Rust Eater.
He doesn't want to be immortal.
Yeah. And there's a lot of secrets and other things that, like, in the world that to be explored. So they just literally do we're off on a new adventure thing, and they go. And if they never make another season, then it's a perfectly wrapped up ending.
I agree.
And if they decide later on they want to revisit this, or it does pretty well, then there's, right there's your
pick right back up
point.
off. Exactly.
And they're off, and they can go have adventures elsewhere, and we can meet new people and new things and call it a day. So, all things considered, just as I don't want to do like a full season review of this, but like I was satisfied with the way this episode tied things up, and I don't need more of it. But if they give me more, I'm happy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm not really begging for a second season, but I would be happy to see it.
So the other thing I think we both watched now, and I've seen it now, is the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. I saw it over the weekend. Jordan, you saw it on the premiere or somewhere near the premiere, right?
Yeah, I saw it. What Friday? The Friday, but like it. Right. Yeah, premiere weekend.
So I don't believe you read the Zero chapters, right? So you came at this purely as
completely
this
blind.
Is new content.
Yeah.
So what did you feel about the story that was told in the movie and kind of what they managed to cram into? I think it's hour 40 was the runtime, or hour 30 is the runtime.
Yeah, I think like hour 30 to 40 something. I was kind of bored in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bored. I really thought that the pacing was a little off, but it was necessarily for a Kotsu. It was just, it didn't hit as hard, and I don't know why. It was because I feel like Yuji's pacing was Yuji's like intro was similar, but for some reason, like I connected more with him for some odd reason. Okotsu's kind of just seemed like there was a lot of like dead space, and there was a lot of silence in the beginning of the movie also, where I was like, is this intentional? Is this supposed to mean something? Or is it just like silent for like no fucking reason? I did enjoy how he got like almost individual time with like the other people in his class, but I also liked seeing the other classmates like expounded upon, them developing a connection, and also seeing oh wait, what the fuck is his name, the villain? Oh shit, Geto.
Yeah, Geto Suguru.
Yeah, Geto. Getting to see like Geto actually like speak and be personified, because we didn't get any of him basically in the first season. Like I think the most he spoke was in the cafe with the special grade curses where everyone caught on fire. That was about it. So for me to like see him, that was kind of one of the biggest drawing points of the movie for me, where I was like, oh shit, well I know you're not dead because I saw your ass in the first season. So like, or is it you, or is it something else? I was like, okay, that was going through my head the whole time, where I was, well, not the whole time, but like near the end, I was like, wait, did he kill that nigga? Or did he not kill that nigga? And so now I'm leaving the theater looking at Gojo sideways, because I'm just like, nigga, what's going on? Like, what's going on here? But other than that, fight scenes were great. I mean, it's fucking Mappa. We had the hate crime scene. That was great. Okotsu's like pop off into just like, you know, all right, like here I am, I'm fully accepting this shit. Not the one where he released the limiters, but the moment that he pulled out Suge shit like out of thin air and used it, I was like, wait. I was like, wait. I was like, you just like broke so many like power scaling rules by just literally being like, I'm just gonna take my friend's power real quick and have it have no repercussions to me whatsoever when using it. I was like, what is this? I was like, what? Like, he just used the shit and it worked flawlessly and he's unhurt. Right. Huh? So that in and of itself, I was like, wow. And then I also loved the like the fucking ending when they were all doing like, you know, the Super Saiyan beams at the final Super Saiyan beams. And he was like, don't you know, love is the greatest power of all or whatever. And then did like the hand flick for it to pop off. And I was like, okay, that was cool, nigga. Like, I gotta give that to you. That was really fucking cool. I was not expecting for them to, first of all, well, I feel like I've said that so much, but like highlighting Gojo's like insensitivity was also a highlight, where Geto was like, you sent them other niggas to me because you knew that he was gonna get pissed and like pop off. And he was like, yeah, and duh. Like, the fuck you think? And I'm just like, wait, well, ooh, because like, well, I'm pretty sure he didn't plan it for Maki, but like the other two, I was like, first of all, Maki got rocked in the end. I was like, holy shit. Like,
yup.
Yo, she got fucking rocked. The other two got rocked, of course. But I don't know. Like, I enjoyed it. I wish I could have seen more fights from the supporting cast, especially with like Geto's crew. And yes, everyone else and showing them off. Nanami got his thing. What's homegirl that cares about the money? May?
Yeah,
Is
the
that
one
it?
with the axe at
The
that
axe,
time.
yeah, because we haven't seen her fight in season 1. So when she
Yeah.
popped up with that axe, I was like, oh, bitch. I was like, do you know how high you just went on the character list? I was like, oh, first of all, you're a bad bitch. Like body's perfect, face is perfect, hair's perfect. I'm about my money. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit, and I can swing this huge ass axe around like it's like nothing and just maul. Perfect. I love her. I love her. I love her. The only other thing I maybe would have said that would have like made the movie like so much crazier or like better is if we got like even in like a comedy scene of like Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi, like before they went to Jujutsu High. Like that maybe would have been like, okay, now that's cute. And you know, if this was someone's first exposure to the series, then going into the first season, they basically be like, oh, those are the 3 that were at the end of the movie. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, this is about them now. Like something like that. But I actually went with a friend who had only watched 3 episodes of
Wow.
the first season. So he came out with so many questions because he had just got to the part where they had fought the special grade curse and Sukuna took over Yuji's body and like gouged the fucking heart out.
That
And
is very
so
interesting.
I literally was just asking, he was asking me questions and I was like, I can't answer that because it is, and also because you've experienced the prequel and you've seen this stuff. That same episode, Geto shows up with the special grade curses and goes into that thing. So we literally just left the movie. He came over here and we were like chilling for a bit, talking about it. And then I was like, "Oh well, what episode are you on? We can like watch something right now or whatever." And then we watched the episode, and Geto's in that episode, and he's like, "But wait, we just saw in the movie," and I'm like, nah,
Yep.
nigga, I don't know either. Like, I'm right
Yep.
there fucking with you. Because that
Yep.
was one of the things I was thinking about as the movie was ending. I was like, how the fuck did this nigga get the... So, yeah.
So, as somebody who read the manga, and is also caught up to date, with read Zero, but also read Jujutsu Kaisen. It's worth thinking about a couple things, and I thought this to a movie. I went and saw it with my wife, who is familiar that the series exists, but has not really watched a single episode. Couldn't name a character. Like, she's not an anime fan. She just came along. It was something to do. So in a similar way, I was gauging a lot of what the movie was trying to do based on kind of her reaction to it.
As like a newcomer completely, yeah.
Right. Basically, does this work as a movie, or does this work more as a supplemental like media for Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a problem that a lot of anime movies have, in that even in Japan, where a lot of these series are more ubiquitous, the people who are watching the movies aren't necessarily folks who are deeply invested and know a lot about the series. I think the One Piece movie, the Gold whatever one from a few years ago, most of the folks who went to go see that were like, families who were interested in doing something with their kids, but the parents are there not as fans of One Piece. One Piece is just this mega franchise that everybody knows about. And so the problem movies like this have is that you have to kind of quickly recap all of the initial world building to have the structure of the movie make sense. And I think that Jujutsu Kaisen Zero succeeds a little bit better than most, because almost none of the main cast you necessarily need to know from the anime to make sense. So for example, if you go watch a Dragon Ball movie, fine, Dragon Ball might be big enough that people can kind of know who folks are, but if you went to see like, the My Hero film,
oh yeah,
right, like you need to be told who is Deku, who is
where he come from, why he do
right,
why he
what is his character struggle up till now when the movie starts, because a lot of times these movies, they just begin, and depending on the time that they're set, it's just whoever that character was on TV at that moment.
At that moment,
right? And if you're a fan, and if you're not a fan, you're just like, I have no fucking clue what the fuck is going on or why anything is happening.
Looks cool. That's about it.
Yeah. So I think Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, I've heard similar things to what you described as like the beginning feeling very slow and very like, it's hard for a fan basically to pay a lot of attention because they're re-explaining things to an audience, but you already know these things. You already
Yeah.
know curses. You already you don't know the character yet. And that's kind of what they spent their energy in the first 30 minutes is like trying to get across like what is tormenting Yuta and what is sort of made him into this sort of very passive, timid sort of main character. He is not very charismatic. Let me put it that way. So you spend a lot of time on that shit, and then when it gets to the let's meet each member of the class and let's have Yuta have an experience with them that is formative. All that stuff works, I think, a lot better in the manga because you kind of get to it really quick, right? There's
Yeah.
only four. There's only 4 chapters really in Zero, and you could look at like the first 3 as probably being the like the first half of the movie. Like the content that's in like the first 2 or 3
Yeah.
chapters is the first half. It's a lot of they didn't add much of anything. They pretty much stuck to what was in the manga. And the places where there was additional content was like the fight in the city. Like there were scenes, like a couple of panels, when you see like the fight in the city and you see like different little face-offs here and there,
Yeah.
and Ghetto's crew, like they're all from the manga, but they don't get a lot of time to shine. So a lot of those action scenes were extra, and they padded out, I think, the runtime in ways. I'll give them credit because the director used them to bring in a lot of cameos. That's pretty much what they were there for. Was for you
Yeah.
to like see a lot of the characters that that you would meet later on in the regular series. And again, some people forget Zero was the pitch. It was the original one-shot pitch for Jujutsu Kaisen. Yuta was going to be the main character, and then Gege Akutami was like, let's go in a different direction, right? So a lot of the personification of like the principal and Ghetto and Gojo and Maki and all those like all the core characters you see here. This is like to me the rough draft that Akutami had, and it's interesting that in the show you kind of see a much more well-developed version of those characters, and it feels more natural because canonically in the show it's been a year since all this stuff happened. It's actually been more than a year. So literally the characters are more grown up in the series we're familiar with, and here they get like a loose treatment. Like we got all of Maki's backstory condensed into about 6 minutes over like right, and that's a lot of heavy lifting that maybe short changes the characters a little bit
if that's your first experience with them.
Yeah, like you get a lot. They kind of offhandedly.
And they really didn't do anything about Panda at all.
No, they just said in one line he was the principal's cursed doll.
Yeah.
But they don't. But he doesn't get very much in this. And my wife, when we were watching, like, because Panda shows up within like the first 10 minutes, and she was like, "Hold on, no one said there was a giant talking panda here," and it's like normal. I'm like, "Yep, that's just what it is." So that was an aspect. That's kind of like my normal complaint is a regular person has no idea what the hell rules are.
Yeah,
they don't know what is happening, and that because they stuck so closely to the manga, they didn't really explain that shit at all. In fact, they haven't really explained it in the show either, to be honest. But I think we all kind of just accept it because it's a thing.
Yeah.
So I had a really good time. I agree with you. The animation was great. It was a little above in a lot of places what they put on TV. I think there was the backgrounds. There was a lot more effort put into a lot of the backgrounds. There were some really cool shots, like when he was when you see Yuta in the beginning and he's like getting up and waking up and stretching and doing. There's a lot of like hand and cloth animation and eating food and walking around. It was a part of the series that I think the TV show kind of I won't say gave up on, but that it sounds too mean. It's like the show doesn't have enough time to spend lingering around on shit.
Yeah.
They gotta go.
They're
movie,
moving.
you can. Yeah, you could be a little more patient and stick with scenes and shots and whatever. And they did a great job. I think my favorite was the city. All the fighting in the city was awesome. I love Ghetto's like manifesto constantly talking about humans with no powers being
Yeah,
monkeys.
yeah.
There was a scene that was taken from the Gojo like side story, the
Gaiden
Gojo
or
Gaiden.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene that they added. It was real quick. It was, I don't necessarily want to say what part it was, but it was a flashback inside of this. That's all I'll say. So I could tell there were little places where they were looking for other opportunities to bring in the material to pad out the movie, but they made
Yeah.
sure, at least what I saw, aside from like the random cameos, because definitely they were like, oh, Nanami is in uh uh what's the other, Kyoto, and then they use that as an opportunity to show you more Nanami being a badass. You know,
Yeah.
that never happened
Oh.
in the manga.
Oh
Yeah,
well, yeah. I'm pretty sure Toto didn't get a moment in the manga either.
absolutely not. Toto
Yeah.
probably didn't exist in Akutami's mind at the time. I think the only thing that I'm trying to remember, there were scenes where the beginning shot was from the manga, but then in the manga they just like cut right back to the fight with Yuta, so you don't see what happened. So like all that stuff with like Gojo going up against, the only Negro in the whole series, like in the manga you get the shot of them facing off and the guy saying like, I can only last against this dude for like 5 or 10 minutes, but in the movie they give you that plus the fight. You know what I mean? Like that's not, the fight itself is not in the manga. It's like off screen.
Oh, okay.
Which is why when they showed the thing that with Maki, I was like, maybe they'll, if they're willing to show us these other fights that happen off screen, maybe they'll give us some Maki. Nope, she's just the same in the manga. Yuta shows up and she's fucking washed, and that's what it is. So, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I would tepidly recommend it to people who have not watched Jujutsu Kaisen, which is better than I normally would for most anime movies. It's still a reach because there's a lot that they don't tell you that winds up being visually important at the end. But, it's probably still more for fans than it is for a general audience.
Well, I definitely enjoyed it as a fan. I mean, my friend, he enjoyed it also, but he literally was just like, oh, this just makes me want to go watch it because I have like a whole bunch of questions. And I was like, great. They did their job.
And one thing I saw people complaining about in the film was that they felt Geto's character was very different from his character in the TV series. He's much more expressive. He is much more emotional.
I mean, I didn't. Well, I just remember there was a moment in the first season where Geto like showed his head and it was like his brain was open or some shit like that. So I already assumed that I was like, something is fundamentally different about the character that I'm seeing in the prequel compared to the one that I'm seeing in the first season. Right. I just don't know what it is yet.
I have no interest in spoiling anything or anyone, but if you are someone who went and saw the movie and felt that there was that was a plot hole or a discrepancy, we just haven't gotten the TV show to the explanation for what is going on. So
I remember you also saying like early on that like Okotu doesn't show up for like a minute. No. So it's kind of just like there's a whole bunch of things that are going on that like they're gonna get to it. It's just not immediate like, oh, we're gonna satisfy you right now. It's just like, nope, just keep it in the back of your fucking head. It's coming. So yeah,
exactly. So that's Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I think we both enjoyed it for different, we had different experiences, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It has its ups, its downs. Music was good. Animation's pretty good. Story's slow in the first half, but if you like Jujutsu Kaisen, I think you'll enjoy this.
Also, My Dress Up Darling ended this week. It was great. Actually surprised we didn't get much ecchi. Like, really shocked. I thought we were gonna see like wet titty when she came out. You mean
after the last episode where they literally did the grinding in a love hotel by accident? Full sex position.
I mean, it could have been the only thing that I actually like really thought was missing from the episode was like a discussion or at least an acknowledgement of the love hotel, and it just didn't happen. No. And so I'm assuming maybe it was because like it's in a latter scene, or they really wanted to focus on the fireworks, or like maybe they did have a conversation and it's gonna come up at a later date or something like that. But overall, it was a gorgeous episode, especially the fireworks scene. That was great. The ending was so fucking expected. Of course you
Yeah.
do that shit while he's asleep. And then also the little end card shit that they did where she was like, I'll see you soon. It's like, you're
Right.
talking to us. You're not talking to him. You're talking to us. Because there's plenty, apparently, of material for like a second season. So they're just like, we will see you soon. We're just not going to announce it right now. Which, fuck y'all. Because this was like one of the most popular shows this season. It's like, there's no way. No, there's an article today. There's like an additional 2 million copies. They printed an additional 2 million copies because like it's flying off the fucking shelves. So,
of course it would be.
Hey,
of course.
I mean, it's not Shin Ikitosen because I've been seeing like clips of those final episodes and it's just like areolas all over the place. So it's like it's not that, which makes me like really like question like, why are y'all up in arms? Like, we're not.
Do you know what the irony of that is? It's that part of the reason that it isn't areolas all over the place is because despite the fact that this is a show about very revealing cosplay, most of the clothes that are worn by every character are like real clothes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, even in the beginning of the episode, or I don't know if it was the beginning, but when like when they're walking through the school and then they have that scene where with the pool, she's wearing like a jean
jumper. Dress.
Yeah. It's like, it's thick. Like, yeah, okay, she fell in the water, but like, no, you're not gonna get
that. Yeah.
Right. Did also want to shout out, you said the animation for the fireworks. How about the animation in that like movie they were watching?
Oh, when the woman had the chainsaw?
The chainsaw, like,
yo, that shit was cool. That shit was cool. It was what it was. Nothing like insane happened. If the Love Hotel episode was the final episode, that would have been a crazy way to go out on the season. But I think this was a great way to end the season. There's no way we're not getting more. Like, it's just like, it would be insanity for us to not get more. And also, I think it probably brought a lot of people into like the romance or like rom-com genre to at least like check out other things because of all the buzz of this show, which is great. Because I mean, now you get to go watch RWBY, which is like just as funny, way more drama, but like, you know, it's just as interesting. So
yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there this is not my area. I don't necessarily know off the top of my head, but like, what is the history of vanilla ecchi romance? What is that? What is the history of that?
I don't
know.
I think this is the first one that's done it. Like, I don't want to say ever, but I think that's done it like the best. Because I don't remember. I mean, like vanilla ecchi, like Maid Dragon.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's
Maid Dragon. Like, yeah, I mean, because there aren't any like explicitly like sexual images. It's literally just like big old titties like in your face.
Right. It's like if this is vanilla ecchi, the Maid Dragon might be just vanilla fan service.
Yeah.
Like, there's no intent there other than an audience that's watching this is going to get a rise literally out of seeing this, but it has no, you know, there's no other intent other than that. It's purely fan service, and that's it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't even know what to recommend. Someone like RWBY is a good one. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, but RWBY has like zero ecchi. Like, RWBY is just like strictly like rom-com, slight drama, and like real life shit. They're just like, damn, yeah, been through that. That's fucked up. No, like, oh god, no. I'm trying to go through all of them in my head, and I mean, maybe like no, because a lot of them they do deal with sexual themes, but like, it's not so much of just like, we're gonna give you panty shots like nonstop. Like, there may be a panty scene where like the girl left her panties out, like, you know, accidentally somewhere and forgot them and he came over. That might happen, but we're not seeing like the vagina, like labia outline, like on the panties or anything like that. Not. Yeah. So I don't know. Y'all can let us know. There's probably something out there. I'll be like, oh yeah, I blocked that from my memory. But freezing. Wait, no, it's free. Freezing. No. That
ain't vanilla, bro.
No. I was like, no.
That ain't vanilla, bro. No. Whenever you have a series where like in the first 15 minutes, like some girl gets her top ripped up. You know, the typical like everything but the nipples.
Yes. Like, I really wanted to watch Freezing because I was like, ooh, this looks like a really good Magical Girl one. And I was like, I am wrong. This is This is not Magical Girls.
Also, the premise is horrific. Like,
yes, it is. It's really
dark as
like,
fuck for no reason.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go along. But I mean, if you want to see something like that, y'all go watch Freezing. What there's two. There's Freezing and then Freezing something else. It has a sequel.
Let me give you the best advice that I ever took from somebody else, and it actually like low-key helped me get through some of the annoying things this season. Just watch it on like 1.25 speed.
Oh.
If you watch like a Freezing, just watch it on 1.25. Like, because there's a lot of waiting around.
Yeah,
there's a lot of waiting around. I'll keep it a buck. Ever since someone suggested this to me, that's how I've been watching Vanitas.
I mean, you still get the gist. So
it's not it. You know, the weird thing is it actually makes the opening song better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the opening. Wait, the second song or the first one?
From this season, like the OP from this season. I didn't hate it, but it was like it was when I would start an episode, it just always felt so long. And if you put it on 1.25, like it bounces, and you're like, oh, they should have fucking done it like this.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it's not really that jarring because 1.25 is people just talk a little faster. It doesn't sound like fucking chipmunks. Yeah. It's not. It makes everything a little easier to get through. That's all I'm saying.
You're saving a little bit more time.
That's right.
Okay. I also watched Ranking of Kings that finished this week. Jesus Christ. It's honestly it's one of my like top series now. Like it just is. Is it up there? I feel like it's up there with like Full Metal Alchemist, like Brotherhood now, which is like how good it is and how like I feel like it should be something that you should watch if you want to like, you know, actually broaden your scope of like, you know, what you're into outside of just like, you know, generic shonen or just like romance or things like that, which you don't have to, but I do like to reiterate that like if you're only watching that one genre and you talking shit about other genres, your opinion doesn't matter. So like if you are looking to branch out, I think Osama Ranking is like really, it's accessible, it's heartfelt, it's cool as fuck to listen to or watch. The music is really great. The story is paced extremely fucking well. The characters are extremely engaging, and they literally like have what they did literally in the last episode was just like, okay, yeah, so all that shit happened. Next, like. Literally, it was just like, here we go. Like, take the rest of the world now. Like, here you go. So now I'm just like, well, bitch, I need it back immediately. But it's not going to come back anytime soon because I think it's like, 15 chapters ahead? Like, the second part of it just started. So, it is what it is. But
goodbye for now.
Yeah, I literally have been telling people, I was like, don't expect a season 2 for like 4 or 5 years. Like, at the least. But it's really I already said the reasons why I like it. Go watch fucking Osama Ranking of Kings. Boji is amazing. He is one of the most like, not even, what is it? Not heartfelt's not the word. He's just one of like my favorite characters in history, and he does not speak a single word.
So like emotionally moving.
I guess. Emotionally moving. Yeah, emotionally moving. The ensemble cast is great. The range of supporting characters is great. The growth of all of the supporting characters is great. The fact that like there are whole episodes where Boji barely even appears, and it literally is just supporting on like highlighting the growth of all of the supporting cast, and then all of that culminates in the final fucking arc where everyone's back together and shit's fucking going down. Just like yeah. I think it's a must watch. I know that people are turned off by the art style, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Like, it doesn't change. It honestly facilitates the action scenes a lot, especially when you factor in like Boji's fight style later on. So, our fighting style later on. So, just, you know, I have nothing but positive things to say about it. The negative things I do have to say about it would be huge spoilers. So I won't say them. But, you know, you can watch it and then you can basically be like, were you going to complain about this? And I'll be like, yep, I was. But other than that, it's really fucking amazing. I probably will be rewatching it like very soon, because I know there are a whole bunch of subtle hints that I probably missed out on, and the scope of what they like set up for just like the series as a whole, just for like the name of the series, I'm just like, oh my god, y'all were hinting at this shit the entire time, and at the end of this, we're just getting started on it. Like, oh my, like, yeah.
That's amazing. Cool. No, that's really cool. I've watched the first couple episodes. Well, 3 episodes. I think it's fantastic. It really does feel like it could have been like a series of movies, if not for the fact that the story pretty much does wrap up in the right way at the end of the season. So it'd be a lot to cover. But
and that's the thing, though. They cover so much, but it does not feel rushed at any fucking moment. Like, at any moment. Like, every time I was just like, yes, this makes sense. Yes, that's a great way to end this arc. Yes. Oh my god. That shit from episode 3 is coming up right now, bitch. Like, oh my god. Like, yeah, it's really good. Highly, highly, highly recommend it, everyone. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Over Dragon Ball Super.
We've done enough damage there. We've done enough. Anything else?
Sasaki Tomiyano ended. I mean, it's literally the exact same thing that I told y'all. It's a slow burn BL. If you are not like trying to sit around and, you know, like watch these niggas go like back and forth between their feelings in their head, I don't recommend it. It's probably not the show for you unless you're like looking for any BL to watch and you like ran out of everything. But other than that, great culmination episode, really great. Honestly, the amount of like touching that like appeared, and it's not sexual, yeah, it's not sexual. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. But the amount of like, or the extent of how comfortable they allowed each other to be with each other after things were like set in stone was actually refreshing for a BL that's not just straight up smut. Like, because usually it's either like 0 or 100. So you have the shonen ai, where it's just like the most, we're literally afraid to hold hands. Like, it'll be the end of our life if we get caught holding hands. And then you just have the ones that are literally just like, we're going to fucking the bathroom, like right now. Mm-hmm. Like, let's go.
Shit.
Yeah.
Why do we gotta do? Can we do better than a bathroom?
Do you think the real life gays do better than the bathroom? Let me not disparage like that. Not all gays are ones.
Higher standards to all human relationships, whatever.
No violence, no
gaslighting. We can move out of the bathrooms, right? We can go to places that are more comfortable. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Fulton Street Fair. That's okay.
Trying to be constructive here.
Yeah. But with this one, it was just really cute how, like, after things were established, that, like, there was, like, asking for consent, you know, oh, hey, can I kiss you? Can I hug you? Et cetera, et cetera. And then after the consent was given, it was just a regular occurring thing. It wasn't, like, made to be like, oh, my God, you kissed me for the second time. This is huge. It was like, well, we're dating. So they're like, yeah, you kissed me. It happened. And I'm like, oh, that's refreshing. That's refreshing. Because it doesn't really happen like that because it is 0 to 100. So I enjoyed that part about it. And at the end of the episode, they were immediately like, bitch, we have a season 2. So I was like, damn. I didn't even see that many people.
Work putting in adult numbers.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, outside of the BL community, I was just like, I didn't really see that many niggas talking about this. But I guess it's doing well. So, cool. Hey. More. They also announced the continuation of the current thing. So they're in high school now. The mangaka already announced that they're going to continue the story with them in college. So I'm like, shit must be going very well over there because they're already pre-announcing that, and the high school story hasn't even fucking ended yet. So, yeah. That's all I watched, I believe.
Yeah, I think the only other thing I watched a bit of and I just didn't finish was Realist Hero, and it wasn't because of anything wrong with the episode. I had other things I had to do, and I was like 10 minutes in, and I'm like, I can come back to this. We got one more episode this week, and then it'll also be over. So I can confidently say that outside of, I think, Genius Prince, which airs on Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm happy with the way this season's turned out for the shows that I invested time in during the season. But we will have a more comprehensive recap. I think in our next episode, we'll talk a little bit more about the end of the shows that we were watching that finished up this week, and then it'll be on to Hell Week.
Oh God.
Previews.
Indeed. All right. Let's go on to news.
So there's a few minor items. Again, we'll talk more about like the previews specifically.
Yeah.
I did want to say that I am cautiously optimistic for the Netflix Spriggan adaptation. It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm under the impression that it's going to legitimately start in the follow the manga. Though a lot of the material they're putting in the preview is from the second arc and not the first. The second is what was adapted into the Spriggan movie that folks who would be familiar with the series know it through, because that was what the second arc was the movie covered the second arc and skipped the first one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because like the main character, they jam basically the introduction of the main character, and then they kind of just like fast forward to him just being a agent at that point. Like they just get right to the shits, which, you know, it works for the film. I never knew that Spriggan was even a manga when I was a kid. When I watched the movie, I just thought Spriggan was this baller ass fucking movie where like there's this amazing scene where he rips a minigun off of a helicopter, a crash helicopter, and is like running in the snow and like lights this armored dude up at like point blank range, and it was legit up to that point one of the coolest like moments of animation I've ever seen in my life. So looking at what they're doing for the Netflix version actually looks pretty good. I mean, like the original Spriggan movie, go back, like it's one of the you know, I won't say like pinnacles of animation, but for a lot of folks who grew up on like US Manga Core, you know, whatever releases, like Spriggan was a tight movie and really well animated. And they're doing a lot with this mixture of CGI and hand drawn. I thought it was all CGI, but having seen more of it, there's a fair amount of hand drawn stuff in there as well. It works way better here than anything I've seen out of Dragon Ball Super movie that's coming. Like it looks better. So I am more than cautiously optimistic. I'm actually like strongly excited to watch this, because I always wanted the more of Spriggan animated, and we never got any more. So there's that bit. Besides that, there's a Iron Blooded Orphan spinoff that is just, I think it's a web only. It's going to be like 9 episodes or
it's web only. I didn't know that.
I think it is. Well, it's because they're releasing it in like 3 episode batches. So I assume it's only coming through. I mean, I don't know what platform it's coming on, but you know, it looks good. That's all I can really say about it. More IBO. Besides that, what did you want to talk about that wasn't like a straight up preview?
I mean, Don Machi's coming back. Not surprised. Netflix is doing the second part of Stone Ocean in the fall. I don't know. I think that's a huge mistake, but you know, they own it, so they put the money for it, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. Magi, this is just, oh my god, this is so fucking annoying. Magi, well, you know what? It's not annoying because they are also getting money where they know money is at. Magi's getting a fucking musical stage play. Can we get the rest animated, please? Can we get the rest?
There. That's what it means.
Can we get the? But yeah, if there's interest there, then go ahead and bring it back. I mean, they did 2 full 24 episode seasons and the Sinbad like stuff. Also, it's kind of just like you're already like almost there, or not almost there, but like you've already like started it. You might as well finish it. Come on, I would like that. Because I'm definitely not watching Orient anytime soon. What else is there? Shaft is animating RWBY. I don't know how to feel about this because I never was an RWBY person, and then I know after whatchamacallit Mont after he died, I heard that it went to shit basically. So, but I was definitely
we did we ever
around.
I think we threatened to have like a RWBY discussion, but we
I
never
think you
did.
definitely. I think one episode you started to break down like what happened with like how these two guys like usurped power and just
Yeah.
like fucked everything up. But like yeah, no, we never went
We
into it.
never
We
went
should we
deep.
should schedule
So maybe
something for
this is not
that.
the time either to do it. I have such mixed emotions about this because I legitimately do not like Ruby, and I Monty Ohm, who was the, original brain master
Creator, yeah,
behind, the concept. He was an action visual guy. He was never a storyteller, and so a lot of the ideas that he had in the original first season of RWBY, they are interesting on paper, but in execution, it's not particularly interesting. And I think having a RWBY anime from a professional studio, possibly without the meddling of the Rooster Teeth, um, a remaining brain trust over there,
yeah.
sounds like a really exciting opportunity, but I don't really think that like the series itself is
Worth it.
worthwhile. Yeah, like of investing this. Like let me like and this is what bothers me the most about this, about even the way I feel about it, is that Gen Orobuchi is involved with this project.
I mean, that got me interested.
Like there's a lot of names that of like people who
Yeah,
are fucking serious who are
yeah.
involved here that like makes sense, that if I saw all these names attached to something with some real fucking money, like I should be really
Excited.
excited. And for what they've dropped on the visuals, it's like it looks good. Ruby always looked kind of fucking jank, like outside
Yeah,
of
the
the
fights.
actual action choreography, which when Montion was doing it was legitimately interesting. Anyone who like, if you're old enough on the internet to remember the
The Final
Haloid,
Fantasy.
yeah, then yeah, that which came right. If you remember Haloid, if you remember any of the Final Fantasy stuff, the stuff he did with like the DOA characters, and
Yes.
like that guy was fucking talented, like
The
generational
shit when they
talent,
were
action
falling on the
director.
fucking thing and just like knocking bitches off the fucking clock top. Yeah.
Right, and he borrowed a lot from like really good directors and good choreographers from movies and shit. He knew what he was doing. So I mean all that to say, like, I like what I've seen from the anime. I think a lot of the character designs were pretty good, going back to the, original. And it's just like the actual story and the actual world building is really bad.
So I
So
mean, they have writers like Japanese writers taking it over and stuff like that. So I guess we
it's
shall
really bad. Like I'll
see.
take back, the general criticism of the franchise, because I think the franchise itself is subject to a lot of different fingers in the pot.
Oh yeah, I
and
mean, I was
and
surprised they got into like what was it, Blaze Blue cross tag battle. I
it's
was like,
immensely
where?
popular. It is immensely popular. So it's just, it's printing money. So I'm not, whatever. I'll threaten to do this RWBY episode again. We're never gonna do it, but threaten to do it. I guess I'm happy because I'm getting RWBY produced in part by Gen Orobuchi with a real studio behind it. I think that I should be happy about
I
that.
mean, yeah,
But I
I'm
am
excited
not one
about.
of these people. Oh, go ahead.
I'm excited to see what Shaft is gonna do.
Yeah, it's not. It's also kind of ironic, but in a dark way, that for a series that has so many incredibly weird men attached to it over the course of its lifetime, that the anime would start out its like announcement with more controversy. With I think the director, no, sorry, one of the writers for the series
Uh
was
huh.
accused by his wife of assault, and and
Oh.
yeah, and one of the voice actors came out, the English voice actor, saying that she was uncomfortable with this guy being on it. This is the writer behind Marduk Scramble, Ubakawa, and I mean he's a really good writer. He's a frankly, this is the saddest thing ever. I'd prefer him writing it no matter what what the allegations against him were, than any of the guys actually at Rooster Teeth, because
I can see that because of what
those
they've already
niggas
put
wrote
out.
underage girl characters to be infatuated with versions of themselves that they inserted into the show. I think that's fucking weird. I think that's super fucking weird. Now, like, domestic abuse or alleged domestic abuse is not a joke. He was arrested, but then I guess he somehow got off, or the wife took back the accusation or whatever. But he claims he's innocent. I don't know. I don't care. Why do I have to have these conversations with a shitty ass show like this? That's really like, why? And the worst part is that, like, this kind of thing will be more prominent as far as, like, controversy around RWBY, and, like, you'll never see the names of, like, the other niggas who are writing it, even though they were, like, the executive producers and writers for, like, 4 or 5 seasons. You'll never hear anything about that. It'll all be about, some random Japanese writer on the anime version was toxic. I'm like, half the motherfucking staff involved with this show was toxic, and they had the audacity to write in a stand-in for black slavery, but then made the black people evil.
Oh my god!
Like, they were actually in the wrong. Like, okay. So now that I'm saying this, fuck this fucking show. Like, fuck them all. I'm good.
What else do I have? There's another Sword Art Online cash grab smartphone game coming, so that means they must need some money for another project. And Jamie Lee Curtis says she wants to play Kureha in the live action.
I'm with it.
She also said in, like, season 2, so I'm guessing Chopper's not coming until season 2. If it gets to season 2. It's gonna
weird,
get
though.
Season 2.
It's gonna be fucking weird.
It's gonna get.
I maintain there has to be no way that they can do Chopper without it being a nightmare. I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing, or that, like, it would be a turnoff for me, because I just recognize this is impossible. This is fucking impossible.
It's gonna have to be complete. Well, even if it is complete season, I don't know.
It's impossible. I have not seen a single concept for, even, like, someone tried to do it in the style of, like, the Sonic movie, and I'm like, even then, it's like, if you look at, like, you look too close, and that shit's fucking weird too. Like, Chopper, oh boy,
it needs to be cartoonish.
And he does, like, full body transformations for all of his abilities. That's gonna be some body horror, like. I don't know how.
Yeah, those skinny ass legs with that, like, super top, like the. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what happens when they bring Frankie in, if we get that far.
Frankie, I could see a version. You just get a jacked up actor, like he's just fucking ripped, and then you do CGI for, like, the cyborg body parts. Like, you could do it.
Even with, like, second half Frankie, with, like, the, like,
it's a good question.
The huge
the disproportionate. But I'm saying, like, you could get that if you got the right actor. If you get the right actor with the right build, you can make it look just over the line of, like, disproportionate and weird. Like, I think about if you anyone play Tekken, like the Jack series, like those robots where the arms are fucking gigantic. Like, you could do something where with CGI to make his arms, like, look fucking huge, and that's pretty much all you have to do to get the proportions. You know, it's a little bit cartoony, but it can be done. It's the Chopper thing that I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. Like, That's a tough one. Good, you never think about it, but like in One Piece, outside of like maybe Chopper and Frankie, the characters themselves are all pretty much human proportioned.
Yeah.
People, even Brook.
Until after.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Jinbei. Well, no, Jinbei could just be
No,
like.
Jinbei's fine. Oh, I just meant the
Jinbei's
titty
fine.
proportions after the fucking.
Bro,
after the fucking.
Listen, I just watched the Anna Nicole Smith documentary. Them titty proportions in reality.
Oh, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, they'll figure that one out.
Cause I'm literally like when Oda came back and that new Nami popped up, I was like, nigga, what? Like, what?
Can I give props to Oda? Props to Oda for just being like, we need a redesign.
Her titties need to be bigger.
Yeah, he was like doing a little bit. Like every new arc, she would get a little bigger, and then they went away, and like it was like time skip. They're like, okay, Oda in his mind, like, I've been waiting to do this.
It's now or never. It's now or never.
Nobody talks about how she got her breast enlargement surgery. Wow.
And Skypea.
Right.
Come on. I mean,
listen.
It's there because it's there. It's not going anywhere. I get it. But I'm literally just like, damn, nigga, you couldn't even try to like ease us into it. You were like 2 years, bit-o titties. Here we go. Like, and Robin's were already a decent proportion, so I wasn't even really surprised by hers, like, perking up a little bit. But it was just Nami. I was like, girl, what?
Everybody got enlargement and a breast lift.
Yeah, I don't think Jinbei will be hard. I don't think.
Yeah, because they could just get like some Samoan dude.
Yeah, no, I literally could see that. Well, maybe like a little bit of a bodysuit, like to like do like the sea whatever. I could see it. Not The Rock. He wouldn't even do it in the first place. But like, yeah. A Samoan guy, that actually is a really good.
There's also like Tongans. They are also like. Yeah. You could get that vibe. You get the nice hair too. Like.
Now I'm definitely really interested. If we just gonna keep going, then who the fuck is gonna be Trafalgar Law? Like, that has to be perfect casting. I'm sorry. It's gotta be perfect casting. I don't... And it better not be like Machine Gun Kelly or some bullshit. Like, I don't want that.
Please don't put that in the universe.
Give me an actual actor, please. All you need is just a scrawny guy. Lean, scrawny, 6 foot, probably like 6'2", 6'3". Like, you'll be fine, I think. Anyways, I saw they announced the Shanks guy today, and I was like, I'm interested to see what he looks like. Yeah, I was like, I'll see you in character. You're literally not... You're going to be in this season for 5 minutes.
I mean, we act like the big problem is, for this One Piece thing, is going to be like, oh, who are they going to cast, for the main...
I think the biggest problem is going to be the pacing.
Yeah, how the hell they gonna make this shit work? the biggest problem is going to be fucking Captain Django. Because that nigga, they had to get a Michael Jackson impersonator who also looks like Johnny Depp. Like, because that's basically like the second arc.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know about. This other shit, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Captain motherfucking Django moonwalking with those Michael Jackson socks on. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about this week?
I mean, we already talked a little bit at the beginning. Just shout out to the Oscars being actually watchable, but other than that, no.
I mean, you better than me. I didn't watch it. I just saw Twitter like popping off, and I was like,
I didn't watch that shit either. I'm saying, if they could guarantee somebody would get slapped every
just make it
year,
a reality show,
right? Like, and you don't know when it's gonna happen. I promise you, I would watch that show.
Honestly, I did see someone say that like they really fumbled the bag because they could have made that shit so entertaining by doing replays of just like individual people's reactions in the audience, playing it from different angles. I was like, y'all don't want people to watch. You don't want people to watch because like this is what people watch now. They watch just like dumb shit like this. I mean, I'll be watching dumb shit too. Like, I'll be, what is it? Love Inferno, whatever that's. I'll be watching them little Netflix reality shows sometimes. I'm like, oh, this is like great to put on while you're eating. But like, I heard that they also did a lot of like TikTok-ish like stuff this year, and that they were really trying to like appeal to Gen Z and shit like that. And at this point, I'm just like, bruh, Gen Z is gonna decide what appeals to Gen Z. They don't give a fuck. Like, they literally just be like this. They just all up here. They'll jump backwards a little bit and then bring something back a little bit, and then they'll just keep doing their own things. Like, I don't know. I don't really think pandering to them works. So,
no,
good luck. Good luck. I mean, it was interesting, and, you know, that what is that anime meme where, like, it's literally, or, like, the drawn meme of, like, the fuck around, running away from the find out.
Right.
Guy with the microphone, like, that's literally what happened to me. And that it bees with it bees. I guess we should do recommendations. Whatchamacallit? I beat Mergit's ass.
Oh, you did?
I beat him within 24 hours. I was actually very proud of myself. Because he was fucking me up big time. Then I beat what was the dragon axe dude? I beat him in like 40 minutes. I was just like, fuck yeah.
Godric?
Yeah, Godric, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 40 minutes. I was like, fuck yeah, I got you, bitch. And then the world opened up to like that lake thing and shit. And I was like, oh, I was like, what the fuck? And I can't even do some of the shit in the first place. Limb Grove or whatever. Like, there's still some shit over there that's fucking me up on the regular. So I'm just like, should I even be over here right now? Like, I don't even know. Whatever.
You can have any experience you want to have.
I mean, I'm literally just trying to. I found a rapier that gives me the spell blade homing thing, but then I'm also trying to raise my stats to get it. So like, I don't want to use rapier. I want to use like a dual katana, but then like I can use that because the intelligence isn't high enough. But then I have like the magic thing to put it on there. Like, there's just so much stuff in the fucking game where I'm just like, no wonder you niggas was just on it like hard. Because now, I mean, I'm late to the party, but I'm literally just like, this, I can see this. It actually was a problem for me last week to the point where I was like, you can't play it for several days. Because you're just...
People be like going to sleep and dreaming of Elden Ring, waking up to play more Elden Ring, not going to work. Like, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I have put in... I'm more or less at the end of the game, but I've gone back and done a bunch of shit. I don't want to say what my level is because it will belie exactly how much time I have put into this game.
Because the last time you said you were like 250 something.
Oh, we've gone.
My god,
we've gone even further beyond.
Oh my god. Okay.
We have gone even further beyond.
That dragon did scare the shit out of me in the fucking like first area, the lake.
Yeah.
I literally was just like, I'm gonna roll out. Oh, it's a fucking dragon. I was like, I turned right the fuck around. I was like, nah. We're not doing this shit. We're not doing this shit.
Yeah, you see some shit in the distance, and you're like, oh no.
I still haven't fought one of those caravans that like I don't know what they're carrying or what they're transporting.
All of them have a weapon in the back.
Oh.
So if you like get on your horse and like take down the little guys, and then when the crowd is gone, just whack away at the trolls till one of them dies, and then you can get the shit off the back. I mean, technically, you can just jump on there and open the chest and just get the item and die. Or probably die.
Oh yeah, die. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been so obsessed with not losing the runes that I'm like, I can't lose my runes and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, whatever. Sometimes I'm just like, that's just gone. I'm not going back.
I am at the point where it takes 1.3 billion runes to level up.
Oh.
So I don't even care. Like, I'll be in zones. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I ain't getting a level out of this shit.
Oh my god.
So who cares?
What? Oh nigga, I don't want to know your level either. I don't want to know your level either. I do want to play though tonight.
It's a good game.
So my recommendation. So niggas, we're back on Tower of God.
Oh shit! How far did you get?
I'm not that much further than where I was last time.
Okay.
my nigga just got transported to the place where like Jihad sent his armada to like
Oh
blow
shit!
up the
Okay,
wall.
yeah, you getting jiggy with it now.
I remember you said, because I was talking about the arc, and you were like, it's going to get crazier, and like I was like, I mean, it kind of looks like it's about to wrap up, and then he transports that nigga there, and then they start going, and they were like, yeah, the strongest niggas that ever existed for Jihad are locked away in this bitch, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
I was like, wait, what do you mean the strongest niggas? Like, why are they there? And it was like, oh, this was his goodwill thing because the people of the tower rebelled. And so this thing, and literally Jihad's army is like, we're blowing this shit up. We're getting these niggas out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so homeboy got transferred there to do all this shit. And I'm just like, oh my God. I got to the point where homeboy's dad just died. And he revealed that the other kid was his actual son, who's like half human, half, what are their names? Animal and whatever.
The dogs.
Yeah, the dogs, like half dog and shit like that. And he was doing all this shit for them and things like that. And I was like, well, nigga, you dead now. Like, and that's another thing about the damn fucking series where I'm just like, they don't give a fuck. Like, they just really, like, you would think in another show that, you know, the dad says this shit and is like, okay, this nigga's gonna live now. Because he has to, like, you know, he's got to make it up to his son. They were like, 2 pages later, you're dead.
Yep,
you're dead.
Quite dead.
You're dead. You're missing a leg. You're bleeding out. They fucking hollow you out. You're dead. You're on the ground. We're moving on. I'm like, okay, wow. And also it's just, they're continually expanding upon all the shit. You got, Rock standing around. Ivankel and the fucking like elder of Foog are using these like primal powers, and he's just standing there, and I'm like, something's gonna happen with this nigga before this is over with, because there's no way that, because like he also is able to use the Earth one, so I'm just like, there's no way that you're gonna be witness to these other primal powers, and something is either not gonna wake up in you, or you know, you're just gonna basically be like, oh, I feel something, oh, I can do this easier, or like something like that. Coon and that fucking fire that's inside of him now, and I'm like, bruh, like, what are you? The fire is talking like, bitch, you're not gonna even live that much longer now. I'm about to eat you from the inside. You will not be able to handle this shit. And also that like it's an element that's in the complete opposite of like his natural ice thing. So I'm just like, what's going on? Like, you reviving niggas? Like, I really like that fucking fight that he did when they chased him, and he gave the guy a power up, and then when the guy got cocky, he took all that shit away, and she just fucking I was like, oh, this is one of the reasons why I love this so much. This is so, because in anything else, they'd be like, the last minute, like my soul, my friends, and Coon is literally like, no, we're gonna trick the nigga. We're gonna make him think that he's better than what he actually is, and then we're gonna take it away.
Mm-hmm. There are some feats that just, I'm like, I'll be reading these chapters. I'm like, bro, is there a ceiling to this? Is it possible? Especially Ivankel. Oh my God, goes so hard.
I love the part where she and where Ivankel and not the floor,
from the first
floor,
Han
Sung, how they were like trapped up in the thing, and then he literally like, just burn this shit, just burn it, burn all of it, and she was like, what? Oh, or he was like, what? He's like, yeah.
Well, just as a point. So when the Tower of God was being concepted, Ivankel was a man, but then SIU was like, actually, the sex was changed to a female.
Oh, so it is a girl.
It is a girl, but in the beginning, he was thinking and drew and described Ivankel as a man.
Oh, okay. I feel like I saw somebody go, well, whatever. Maybe I think, did someone say Mr. Ivankel? Whatever. Either way, I love that character. I'm like really excited to see what's about to happen with Bomb, because Ivankel was literally like, now's not the time to train. Bring that needle out. Bring it out.
Let's go.
Bring it out.
What are we doing?
Like, bring it out. And so now I'm just like, well, this is about to get really bad for everyone involved, because now we're gonna see what how long has it been? A year? Has it been a year?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's been a year, and we haven't even seen the shit that Bomb has learned for the most part, because he did that training with the people who are like high rankers but don't actually have a rank. They're just like in some like the unknown areas of the tower and shit. I'm like,
right.
So yeah, how you gonna tell us about that shit and then like not give us like a background? I'm like, it's coming. Like, I just know everything that is mentioned. I'm literally gonna be like, it's coming back around. It's always gonna come back around, and I'm gonna be gagged and basically be like, now who is this nigga? And what is this?
Right, you'll see a character and you're like, oh right, them. Oh right, them.
yes. And even when the elder showed up with his guide, and I was like, that's a guide. I was like, he's got a guide. I was like, what the fuck? Like, has it been? I mean, well, no. Yuri has the silver-haired dwarf guide, but
right.
I don't think we've seen anyone else with the Hwaryun's clan's like red hair. So I'm just like, woo, like the elder has a bit of, okay. I was like, you're important, girl, because you got the red hair and you're a guide, and you know, whatever. Y'all talking about the fate, the path, the shit, that. And I'm like, well, now you've run into Bomb. So good luck. Good luck keeping that shit on track now, because it's just not gonna happen. And just, it keeps reinforcing that like these niggas are not all powerful. They're not all powerful. They can lose. They are not the best. And I think that is one of the like most appealing things to the show about me. It's like, it's literally not like a power fucking fantasy. It's not a power fantasy.
Even though it does all of the shonen power up stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it does that, but like, you know what it is? It's that from the very first chapter, they said, "Oh, y'all are just regulars. You're not even at the ranker status." Now we've been how many hundreds of chapters? They're still regulars.
They're still regulars. They're still protected. They're still protected by specific rules up to this point, which is why they haven't gotten their asses like blasted in several circumstances. Like, it's just. It's so fucking entertaining. It's so entertaining. The only reason why I didn't finish it or like keep going this time was because I was just like, oh no, my lunch break's over, you know, blah 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 blah. I'll read more when I get home. And then I like started playing Elden Ring, and then I was like,
if you catch up, your brain is gonna die.
I'm actually making it a point because I don't even think I'm that far behind. I'm on season 3. So
season three's been going on forever, but
really?
I think you are at the. You haven't got to the wall, right? You're still doing the Baylord.
I
stuff,
am.
Right?
So I'm on season 3, episode 33, and right now, apparently the most recent chapter is season 3, 112.
Yeah. So have you done like the wall, like? The person who's sleeping in the wall?
I haven't gotten to the person's. I got to the point where the leader of the dogs in his like fully transformed state got transported by the elder to the wall.
Okay. So
and
you're
then
like
started talking to that woman or whoever that was there. Like, what the fuck? Why am I here? What the fuck's going on? And I think they're about to like talk and like decide what the fuck's about to go on, but then it went back. I'm at the start of a chapter where like homeboy's dad is dead on the floor and Bomb is.
So you're at the wall, and like you're 2 arcs away.
2 arcs. What?
Oh man! Yeah.
Wait, 2 arcs after this one finishes?
Yeah. Well, one of them is short. Like,
okay.
It's the wall, and then another one, and then the current one is the nest. And
oh Jesus Christ!
And the nest is, I think, one of the culminations of almost all of the cool shit that they have ever done in the series.
Oh God!
Like everything. First of all, everybody gets feats. We're going back and pulling characters that haven't been around for like hundreds of chapters.
Oh, like the okay, no. I feel like I know.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but like it's like everybody comes back. Like the scale of everything is just off the. Because remember, in the dog shit, like, oh, this is the first time where the scale of the conflict was like tens of thousands of people at once.
Yeah.
It gets bigger than that.
Oh god.
It's nuts. It's just nuts. It's just
Okay.
nuts. It's nuts.
Okay. I mean, well, yeah, that is what I recommend everyone after I just spoiled all that shit for some of y'all who haven't even like, started it. I've seen, and you know what? I've seen a lot of people. One thing I've seen some people ask is, you know, how should they start Tower of God? Should they watch it, then read it, or should they read it, then watch it? I recommend watching it, then reading it, simply because, like, you're not gonna get any more of that anytime soon. So it's best to just go ahead and get that out the way, and then once you start reading it, you'll just have the knowledge that, like, it's gonna keep going in this format. At least for me. Also, I thought the adaptation was good. I thought Crunchyroll did a good job.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think that I agree with you. I think you should, if you're going to get into it, watch the anime and then go read from chapter 0 because you will see what they chose to leave out and also how they reordered some of the material, and it will be you will appreciate the anime a lot more. Yeah, and you will also get some of the supplementary information that they left out that actually is worthwhile. It's not just like, oh, somebody's name or no, they leave out quite a bit, especially like character development between a lot of the supporting cast.
Like Endorsey and shit.
Right.
Like a lot
and
of
Anak,
shit.
Yeah, the Endorsey Anak stuff and the Endorsey bomb stuff too. There was a lot that they left out.
Yeah. Like, I didn't think, well, let me not even say that, but like, if you listen to this far, and you haven't even started it yet, all the stuff that I said, you won't remember, because there's so much shit that happens in between where I'm at right now and you being at chapter 0. Like, I'm telling you, it does not matter. You have like 500 chapters, and like, they're not short.
No,
they're not short. Like, they're long. So the prologue is 90 chapters or something.
Yes, like 100,000 things happen between.
I told someone that, and they were like, "Wait, the prologue?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then after the prologue, it immediately gets to the shits. Like, it's like it's so satisfying.
And the prologue is good. That's the thing. The prologue is good.
Yeah, so I kept telling people, I was like, the prologue is the anime, and they're like, "What?" But I thought it was and I was like, "No, like the prologue is like integral. Like, it's what sets you up, and then you just have to like accept that like that's all you're gonna get in the anime for now, and also you have to get ready because shit is just gonna
once you if you look at in the prologue, you're like, oh, this is a lot of characters. There are a lot of ideas here. Oh, this is setting me up, so I understand everything's gonna happen. Nah, bitch. No, it ain't.
Say bye-bye to those characters.
Yep.
Oh man, I remember when I was like literally like stuck. Like, I was up until like sunrise, just like reading, just fucking reading, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is and then what the fuck is this nigga? And why are you over here? And then and you from the same family, and then you gonna come over here, and then I'm Foog, and like, I'm just, y'all, it's literally one of the best epics, like out right now. Like, you gotta fucking get into it. So
but the last thing I'll say about this is, I never thought that they did such a good job creating one villain in this series. And I give the series credit for that, that feat, because making a good villain is hard. But I didn't think they'd be able to pull it off with 2 villains.
What? Oh God. Okay.
I didn't think they'd be able to do it to me with 2.
What the fuck am I about to find out?
I didn't think so. And
oh my god. Oh man. Because there's a certain someone after this most recent time skip that I have not ran into yet, and I'm nervous about it. I'm very nervous about it because I know they're coming, and I'm just like, how are you showing back up? Because I know you coming. I know you coming, bitch. I know you coming. Like, oh my god. Anyways, yeah, read Tower Guide. Watch Tower Guide.
Yeah, I have mine. I think did I mention Final Fantasy Origins last week?
Yeah, you talked about it last week. You said you beat it already.
Well, I've gotten further into it now, and
Okay.
like it is so interesting because I stumbled over an article where they were. This is back in like 2021. This is before they had officially announced the game, but they were talking about how Team Ninja is teaming up with Square to do like a Neo Dark Souls Final Fantasy, and I didn't like take that seriously. And what I saw of the game did not immediately like make me have that feeling. Having played more of it, there is so much DNA of Neo in this game, and it's a good thing because the other parts of the game are really the weird parts. They're like weirdly endearing, especially like the storytelling that they're doing. Like in any other context, I think I would just like shrug or cringe at some of the dialogue, but it's actually funny. I just don't know if it's like intentionally funny or inadvertent. It has to be intentional.
Fucking cheese.
It has to be intentional because there's no way that like you could make something this funny by accident. It has to be intentional. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good buy, and it's actually not necessarily, unless you put it on like the easiest difficulty setting. Like there's some real challenge in there. So. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still on it.
Well, that'll be all for this week, y'all. So if you have not already, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow us on the socials, anime_savant on Twitter, and then anime savants on, already said YouTube, but TikTok, Instagram, Anchor, wherever you want to listen. And I will reiterate it again. We are doing video podcasts. We could get some episodes on Spotify, but Spotify does not have their shit together with simultaneously uploading the video and the audio. So it's still just audio on Spotify, but video podcast is on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for like months now. So, it be's there. Yeah.
Yep, and you can always hit me on Twitter at Neural Handshake. Now that I'm done posting endless Will Smith memes, we can get back to anime. Like we're built for.
Oh, I already got spoiled on Luffy's new form, so I give up.
Oh yeah, you're not reading, are you?
Yeah, I'm not reading, but I already was just like, all right, whatever. It's gonna be able to be. I see it. Next. I was like, now I'm waiting for the next Pirate Warriors game because I want to see how it fights. Great.
It's going to be very unfair, however they do it in that game. Cause
it's unfair.
I mean, it's what a lot of people, in some ways, guessed it was going to be, but like the way they put these chapters together, they did it right. They did it right.
Okay.
They did it right.
I just knew that big shit was happening because people were like losing their shit on Twitter, but I didn't get spoiled. But I'm seeing fan art, so I'm not seeing the actual panels. I'm seeing fan art of it, and I'm like, oh, it looks great. Or from what I've seen, it looks great. It looks on brand for One Piece. I'll put it like that. But
I still will heartily recommend watching the Wano arc. If you feel like, oh, One Piece was going on forever, it's got a million episodes, I don't have time. The animation in the Wano arc is so good.
Yeah.
So you will not be wasting your time at all going back and watching each and every goddamn episode. Like,
I mean, I tell people to read up until like Whole Cake, and then you can start watching.
That's fair.
I would know after Whole Cake. I'd be like, watch after Whole Cake because I feel like it went on. I would like it went on a long time in the anime. Whole Cake.
Well, it also went on a long time in the manga too. I don't know. I'm of mixed feelings. Like on the one hand, I'm respectful of people's time, and manga you can like get through pretty quick if you want to. But like there are so many moments from whether it's like Impel Down or even before that, like all the CP0 stuff and like Water 7 and like those that was good TV. Like I wasn't a manga reader back then. I was watching the show.
Oh yeah, I watched up until right before the beginning of Thriller Bark, and then that's where I started reading. But yeah, like Water 7 and shit like that. I was in that dorm room. I was like, bitch, this is amazing. I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Because I didn't know that it continued to air elsewhere. I was just like, oh shit, so One Piece, if Cartoon Network's not airing it no more, that shit don't exist no more. It's like, no,
Right.
nigga, it never stopped. And I'm like, well, time to catch up. So yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, that was the end of the episode. Okay, bye y'all.
Peace.